I'm calling up Mahesh Bandra. Mahesh Bandra.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, I take this call on behalf of New Zealand First to speak to the electronic monitoring of offenders legislation bill. Mr. Chair, we think that this bill could have been entitled or named differently. And we have some more appropriate names for this bill, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Chair. One of them is the attempt at keeping prisoner numbers down bill, the cost cutting on crime prevention bill, the letting dangerous criminals out in the communities bill, the saying one thing and doing exactly the opposite bill. And these are the reasons, Mr. Chair, that this bill, this electronic system has failed and failed miserably in the last 5 odd hours, or 5 odd years, it could be hours. 15,500 times this electronic monitoring system has failed, Mr. Chair, and this bill has failed to keep our communities safe. As the minister claims that this is going to keep our communities safe, it's not. The other reason to prove this is that the communications between the Chief Executive of Corrections and the Commissioner of Police has not been made mandatory in this bill. They should have made it mandatory. At the moment, one hand doesn't know what the other hand is doing, and that was the reason that dangerous criminals like Philip John Smith escaped the country. And that is the reason that somebody on electronic monitoring system, as Mr. Goff just mentioned, breached his electronic monitoring system and raped and killed Blessy Gotinko. So this bill, this electronic system has failed to keep Blessy Gotinkos of this country safe. The electronic monitoring system, Mr. Chair, has been spent thousands and thousands of dollars on, and as the Labour Party Labour Party member just spoke about the system being cut, the electronic bracelet being cut by an ordinary pair of scissors. And Mr. Barclay, you haven't seen prisoners. They are not average human beings, all right? They can cut as easily as Billy Whipple could cut it. So you need to look at the offenders that we are dealing with in our prisons. So it's not very hard for them to cut it, as easy as it was for Billy Whipple. So it'll be wrong to think that just by buying a new type of bracelets, which have been touted as next to impossible to be cut, is going to keep our communities safe. It's not. We have serious issues with the entire intent of the bill. The intent is to keep our prison costs down and to keep our prison beds on low numbers. So we do have issues with the entire bill. The only thing we do agree with is that when the prisoners go on temporary removal, and if electronic monitoring system is used as an additional safeguard, then it is okay. But it's not okay for the system to put those criminals out in the communities depending only on the electronic monitoring device. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.